Hey everybody, we are at Bellow Tops today in Tampa, and we're gonna go over a little bit of how we wanna set up and make sure our vacuum system is ready to run for the day on a T-Rex. This is a dual jumbo table, and so we got two manifolds that are 16 cup 32 port manifolds from Blick Industries. We're gonna go over with a guest of ours, Jesse Harrell from Assured Flooring in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, currently running, thanks for being here, by the way. Currently running 3 dual table T-Rexes and expanding his operation into other states across the country. And so he's gonna be here today to kind of go through with us some of the pitfalls that we might get when we're setting up the vacuum system to make sure we don't have any headaches with vacuum.
Hey, it's always operator error. So we're gonna start with what to do first thing every morning. It is key that we shut off everything we can to do that first inspection for the day. We want to make sure that we are now positive we got great vacuum up until this point here. So every morning, we want to make sure that we clean and empty the filters. So this is the PAB, and each vacuum has its own PAB with its own filter. That's the vacuum pump. We want the
Per table
gauge to be negative 25 or more. Yeah, nearly negative 30. If your gauge is reading, close to 30 with everything closed, because that's what we do. We close everything. And you're reading close to negative 30, you know your system's working right. And it's going to be operator error from here, okay? If everything is closed and you do not have close to negative 30, then you could have something wrong here. That will be in another video, okay?
And I think I'd like to mention one quick thing. You also want to check the general air into the machine to make sure you have at least 7.5 bar.
That's your main line coming into the machine right here.
That gauge, you want to have 7.5 bar or more.
Now, I'm going to turn off every vacuum pod I have on this Blick bar, and I will open the Blick bar itself, okay? And once we open the bar itself, we're gonna make sure everything's closed. We can go do another inspection of the gauge to make sure that it's at negative 30 still. That way, we know we have no leaks up into the hose. If you're having a drop in pressure, then we probably have a bad fitting. So once we know the system is working properly, we want to do a very thorough cleaning of the pods. You know, the operator that was working this machine yesterday did a very good job. He left these pods clean. I can visually inspect them, just the same as I could come over here to these pods and tell they did not get cleaned for the day prior. And if you're not cleaning your pods regularly, the grit will build up on the pod. You know, it will ruin the gaskets or get corroded and cause you to have to replace them sooner. So once we got the machine working, the next step is to clean everything. So we want to make sure we clean the table. We want to make sure we clean both top and bottom of the pods very well. I like to hose this gasket out. See how I'm getting this gasket nice and good? Because a lot of soot gets in that gasket. Want to clean them very well. We want to do this between every cycle. You're constantly making sure we're cleaning these pods. Once we're done cleaning, we want to squeegee the water off the table. At least 90% of it. Now, we have opened up our vacuum program, and we have the laser pinpointing where each pod is supposed to be placed. So we'll now place the pods. So if you notice, we're setting the pods in the order that they're plugged in. I always like to load them from big to small, and then when I'm done, I remove them from small to big. That keeps the hoses from getting tangled. Okay, so once we get the vacuum pods in place, we want to turn the valves on. Okay, so Joe, everybody can get us to this point. This is a relative simple process to this point. The problem starts to happen right now, where we may have a gasket that's not properly installed on the bottom. We may have a little bit of trash under one of the cups. We may have a hose not plugged in all the way. And all these cause minor leaks. And usually, if you just have one or two, you could get away with it. But my theory is we don't want any. And they're too easy to make sure you don't have any leaks if you follow the steps from this point forward. So once we get our pods on, we're gonna concentrate on the bottom gauge right here. So my process is I'm gonna shut the valve on the blick bar. And if this bottom gauge loses pressure, I know I have a leak, okay? Let's see if we have a leak. Yes, we have a leak, okay? So, how do we find the leak? We're gonna open the bottom valve again, and then we're gonna quickly close all the bottom. In this shop, we're using red on the bottom. We're gonna close all the bottom valves, okay? Now, I'm gonna pick up on each vacuum pod. Whichever vacuum pod comes up, that's my leak, okay? So, this number vacuum pod's good. That one's good. Oh, we found the leak. So anytime you have a vacuum pod leaking, it's usually a very quick solution, and it's usually about one of three things. It's dirty, the hose isn't connected, or there's an issue with the bottom gasket. So the first thing I do is I'll check the hose. I'll give it a slight, I'll barely pull on it. No, it's in there good. So it's not the hose. The next thing I'm gonna do is inspect the bottom gasket. Oh, look at the gasket. These gaskets, they have to be touching. You cannot have that gap right there, okay? So once we repair, replace, do whatever we need to do to the bottom gasket, what I'm gonna do now that I have fixed the problem, or at least I think I did, I'm gonna troubleshoot just this one vacuum pod by turning it on, giving it about 3 seconds, turning it off. Because if it works, I'm not gonna be able to pick up on the pod. If your pods are working properly, they're still stuck. For that length of time, these pods are still stuck.
Right.
That's how we know we got good vacuum.
Got it.
So we've repaired the problem, and now we open the valves, we close our main valve to check it. See how now we are not losing clothes, we're not losing any vacuum anymore. So now I open it, and this is a proper way to check and find issues quickly, okay? Yeah, I just want to show you how quick you can find problems and solve them, because I purposely created a problem here. So when I close the valve, you're gonna see the gauge lose pressure. You see it? So I know I have a leak. So once again, same process.
And that's
Close
the vacuum
everything.
sensor sensing that there's a lack of
Okay,
air.
so now I'm gonna start checking my pods. Oh, there's the problem.
Man, I'm lucky.
Oh,
there's
we
two
got
of them.
two problems.
There's two of
Okay,
them.
so what do I do?
You got a twofer.
Once again, the first thing I do is the hose came out real easy. So
Got
I
it.
know that's my problem. So I want to reconnect this hose, give it a little twist, push in the orange, give it a little twist,
Now,
give
did
it a
you
little.
know that this one was going to do that?
No.
All right,
did.
but this is real life stuff. This is
Yeah,
how it
that's real
happens.
life stuff. This is exactly what happens. All right, I think that's the problem, but there's only one way I'm gonna know for sure. Turn it on,
Turn it off.
turn it off.
Let me yank on it.
Okay, so it's working.
Yep.
All right, we had another one here, okay? So we're gonna check the hose. No, that's good. We're gonna check the gasket. Nope, that's good. Oh, look, we have a little piece of trash.
Ooh. look
That
at
one little piece of trash.
Pieces of porch chips.
Yeah, it happens. You know, you get it on your shoe. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna just re-clean this little section.
10 seconds, 5 seconds.
Now let's go check it. 1, 2, 3. Lift it up. All right, they're all working. We're good to go. We are back in business. Turn them back on. Close the valve. Notice we're not leaking. Wham bam.
Ready to go,
So
baby.
in a matter of less than a minute, I can find problems, fix them, and I got 100% vacuum.
No problem. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.